making names. A blockhead.
The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at
What
this
we
time. Goodbye.
get is sticking to the man.
Here we go again.
Oh,
All right, he'll be back next week. Let's get this going.
A blockhead, yes,
Welcome to episode 7, the Dave episode. All right, it's going to be just us three today. As we mentioned, Kyle is not here. He will be back someday, somehow, when he wants to put his big boy pants on. And
Kyle's text message this morning was, "I'm so sorry I failed you guys."
It was super dramatic. Yeah.
And then we're like, "Well, you didn't because you still have an hour to get here." No reply.
no,
Just straight up ghosting.
It's like we got ghosted.
yeah.
And I feel like we're not the only people who've been ghosted by Kyle.
No, definitely not.
If you have stories, put them in the comments.
Yeah, that's true. If you've been ghosted by Kyle in one way, shape, or form, send us a message.
We're going to have a thread. Like,
No, yeah, we'll add a spanking.
Literally sounds like one of those mesothelioma ads.
yeah.
If you've ever been ghosted by Kyle Appleton, call 1-800-KYLE-SUCKS.
Yeah. We'll have that number set up.
Oh my god, that would actually be like a funny ad or like something for like a just content, like a video creation. Like I would like to start getting more into like content creation, like making
skits and stuff,
like real skits, getting a little bit better with the media, getting what we need within reason, but like making like that was an awesome idea.
Yeah.
But actually bringing that to life, like having like the big letters in the bottom, like 1-800, Kyle sucks. Which might act. No, this sucks would be 5. I was saying it would work if it would work for a phone number, but I don't.
Phone number.
It wouldn't, right? If you had the 1-800 Kyle sucks, it's 4 and 5. Yeah, you only need 7 numbers. So
Yeah, it'd be too long.
All right, just do SUX.
Or Kai sucks. Kai sucks.
KYLESUX. That's 7.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
KY.
KYLESUX.
Yeah, just do the X.
There you go.
Yeah, they're good. All right, great. So we have the phone number.
Yeah,
we have it.
As of the airing of this episode, it will be registered. So if you or a loved one have ever been ghosted by Kyle, please call 1-800-KYLE-SUCKS.
With an X.
With an X.
We should put that on our website. Yeah, if you were looking for XXX stuff, you just walk towards that blue light into the
back room that we have so neatly decorated for you.
Yes.
Yep. Well, that's one thing that we want to talk about too, Dave. Is like we were so green and we didn't know what the hell we were doing until you came about, dude. And you've souped it up here so that we're semi-professional and looking pretty spiffy,
pretty stellar,
and vibing.
Yeah,
I feel
like this is a nice, comfortable vibe we got going on here.
Yeah, dude.
The way I see it is, I'm just kind of throwing whatever at the wall and seeing what sticks. But yeah, this one's actually more comfortable. I feel like
it's better. The ambiance is it's better.
I'm a little upset that I've lost my little office space directly next to the bathroom, but.
Not after what I just did. No, believe me. The series of events is working out in your favor, and you're actually furthest from the bathroom, so you're solid.
No, this is great.
I'm just hoping this Blockhead sign is like
doesn't fucking fall.
We had I think it won't now that it has nails in it. If we just did that in the first place, like logical human beings,
that probably would have worked. Instead, we used melted gaffer tape, which
was questionable and ruined Rudy's walls.
But
probably can't clean it, but we convinced him that it was, and now we're admitting it in real time.
No, we're good. It'll clean. Yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
Yeah,
I'll let you guys know if I fucking get that shit off.
Has that other phone been recording the whole time?
I think so.
Yeah,
or no, not the whole time.
You did a stop.
Yeah, I stopped it.
I think Dave, I think just like taking us back to like, where you got your interest for this kind of stuff, like, and just like a little bit more about yourself. I know you said it, before
the sign fell, it ruined the whole thing. Had the greatest blooper that Blockhead Nation's ever seen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely would be good.
Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of hard to really pinpoint it to like anything specific.
Yeah.
Like I've always loved tech stuff. I'm a huge fan of music. I've always liked talk radio specifically.
Yeah.
It started a lot with sports and sports commentary. I always loved making commentary as a kid.
In what ways? Just commentating on what you're watching.
Commentating, playing with Legos, and
Yep.
commentating whatever it is you got going on there.
Yep. Also engineering. Yep.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, the Legos, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I had Legos, but I would have like the Star Wars Legos, but I would never actually follow the instructions. I would just build them how I wanted to.
I would always try to follow the instructions and would get to a point where like I did something wrong like 45 steps ago, get really
And then
mad,
let it go all the way
and
back.
then it ends up in, we had this giant bucket of Lego.
Yep.
That was like, probably like a solid 3 foot tall, that we would just dump on the floor and just kind of go to town with.
Yeah.
I never really made anything like spectacular.
No.
But it was always,
either, yeah.
it was always all about the imagination.
It's good to have Legos.
Yeah,
Nowadays.
absolutely.
They're fucking expensive.
Dude, they are.
Oh yeah, they're worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, they are. And how about stepping on one?
Oh my god,
Dude, oh my god, it's one of the worst things on earth. No, but okay, so have you guys ever, did you guys like the Lincoln Logs? I like those more than the Legos because they're a little bit better for my peanut brain. It was a little easier to put the structures together.
I mean, I definitely
specifically
played
had
with them. I never actively owned them. Like I had a friend whose family had them, and we would always end up using them. And then, Legos would pretty much
The new is magnetiles.
magnetiles.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Just like magnetic, like plastic tiles that you can put together and build towers with.
Well, that's pretty cool.
That's actually a really good idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's cool.
Dom loves
Talking about a
them.
business idea.
Interesting. I mean that seems a little bit safer than like hard plastic.
They're definitely easier to
Small little plastic things that you can choke on. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you can't choke on these.
It's,
I mean, but I will add, Legos are delicious.
Hey,
Yeah.
especially that.
tell us about that. How did we got
Especially when they get wet and they send the bottom of
No, it's even better when like it's the one at the very bottom of the barrel that you haven't touched in like,
it saves on. It gets like a
6
little
years.
Yeah,
I really don't know if they taste delicious.
Well, no, but I think it's very interesting though. They're talking about Legos and stuff because I feel like things have naturally shifted virtually, and now the kids who have the same type of interest that you do, the same proclivities, if you will, they do Minecraft and stuff, right?
That's true.
My little cousin Gavin, when he was like, because this was years ago, he created an entire world and he built the buildings literally block by block, like literally.
Yeah.
So, but they looked like his favorite characters.
Oh, that's wild.
So actually, the building looked like his favorite characters. Then he had this intricate railroad going through the entire world. I wanted to actually record it and then put it on YouTube and be like, 7-year-old creates this amazing world. Like he has it.
Oh, dude, some of these kids,
Dude, it's
Minecraft.
amazing. But like, it's something like he'll do some stuff. Like he actually likes the robots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like he'll build stuff and he's better at it than me. And he's like 8 years old.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing to see kids nowadays. Like my nephew, he builds Legos like nobody's business. My brother's got an app on the phone that shows him the instructions. He goes, zips right through it, and he's done.
I can never follow instructions.
I don't read.
I'm awful at it. I'll take like 20 times longer to do it. Like it was the same in school. Like I would literally try so hard to find a way to cheat that it would actually take longer and more effort than it would to actually just read like the 10 pages and just do the assignment.
Yeah.
And the few times I actually just like started doing like the actual work, I'm like, wow, this actually isn't that hard.
Yeah.
If I just do it the right way, because I try to find so many ways around it. It ends up being a long roundabout way.
Super guilty of that for a while. I overworked it, and the reality is 2 + 2 is 4.
So, like, you obviously, you like these things, you like Legos and stuff like that. You really like music. What did you start? Like, did you end up playing an instrument, or did you end up just doing more engineering stuff? Like, where did that creativity kind of like? Where did that advent to, or whatever?
Yeah, the progression's kind of weird. So it went more towards the doing things. Like as a kid, I was a part of the Lego robotics competition that they held down in Lenox every year.
Did you know that was a thing? That's awesome.
Yeah, it's sweet. I did solar car racing, and then we're talking like, solar cars.
Yeah, it's still cool as hell, yeah.
But still, it's sweet.
Yeah.
We won Berkshire County. It's
Nice.
pretty awesome.
Oh, okay.
Well, in the county.
Humble brag. Like,
Whatever. We made it. Went to the regionals and then got our asses kicked by, kids whose parents
Paid.
do that thing for a living.
Yeah. Right.
But I went to that, and then I'll be honest, I owe a lot of it to my friend Tom.
Yeah.
Shout out Tom.
Yeah, shout out.
I know you're probably not watching because you're like Hollywood now, but he started making movies, started really getting into, and his family was kind of into photography, so that was a nice progression for him.
Yeah.
And it really all started with the movies. I really enjoyed that creative
Process.
Yeah. Nice.
and once that happened, I realized that I really enjoyed telling stories.
Yeah.
I really, fictional stories were cool, and that was a thing for a while. A good portion of my life was fiction and writing fiction and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of turned into I liked hearing about other people's stories. I got really into documentaries.
Biography and stuff.
Really ridiculously into podcasts at that point.
Yeah.
Early
Yeah.
podcasts,
Yeah.
all the early adopters, and then it just kind of took off from there.
Yeah.
I went to school originally for journalism, photojournalism. So be the guy with the camera.
Sure.
And then that kind of evolved into radio from there. And then I never actually finished that degree. So that's where that story ends.
This is where I really want to try to be perceptive. And
I just wanted to add on, but Dave, you're in that line of work, and you've been in that line of work for your most of your career, right?
For the most part, yeah. It's been side jobs mostly. I always find a way to end up back in it,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird.
Yeah. You know what? It is weird, but it is,
it goes back to what your interests were when you were even a kid, before you even knew what your interests were supposed to be, right? But I want to peel back a little bit on what you said and try my best to reverse engineer it. Let's press the applause button.
That's a joke of the night.
All right, before I train of thought, I'm hyping myself up. Was it Tom?
Yep.
What did you guys make movies together? Like what do you actually do? Like, so he showed you guys just did like little short films. Walk us through that.
We made a couple of movies actually.
We and how long were the movies?
I think we shot more footage than we actually put together.
Yeah.
We made a few movies.
Do you remember what any of them were called?
There's one called Sandwich that I remember. That was high school.
Was it about a sandwich?
Yeah, pretty much.
nice.
Yeah, pretty much. So basically,
walk us through Sandwich. I just want to get a little more granular.
If I find this, I am going to insert a clip of this movie because this is probably one of the highlights of my life. So what Sandwich is?
There we go. Now
Okay.
So what Sandwich is a movie about this kid who is given a briefcase that he needs to bring somewhere.
Yep.
I mean, you're not really told where or what. And all of these crazy things kind of fall into place. Like there's a guy who ends up in his car. There's a car chase. Guy in his car is like bleeding out. Looks like a secret agent man and things like that.
Yeah.
And the whole point of it is that he has to go through all of these obstacles to deliver a briefcase. And what turns out that what's in the briefcase is just a sandwich.
That's all. Is there a movie like that where the briefcase is full of money? And the kids running around with the money in the slides. Do you know what movie that I'm talking about?
Yeah, actually.
It's a very classic movie. Like with the kids.
Oh yeah, no, we definitely ripped it off.
Because I don't know if it was the cart before the horse or whatever. If you guys, it was similar to that, but. And then, so that's really cool that you and Tom did that. And like, were you guys the actors in the movie, or were you like doing? How were you?
Remember if
was that
even
the writing
in
of the movie, or was it actually played out? Like how? Like or was that just like the idea of what the movie was supposed to be?
We kind of just came up with the idea randomly one day, and I don't think I was in that one at all.
Yeah. So you had other friends that would like play the parts and stuff like that. That's awesome.
Nice.
And we actually went out and we found like a couple of random locals that wanted to be. We would put out like a Craigslist ad for it and everything.
And how old were you at this point?
Geez, this is probably like junior or senior year of high school.
That's really cool. And now Tom, you said Tom's like legit Hollywood, like he makes movies for a living.
Kind of. Yeah.
That's awesome.
He does a lot. He runs his own drone company that does video. I don't know if I can actually say what he's worked on.
Don't definitely.
I'm not going to dox you, Tom. I'm sorry.
But yeah, do you guys keep in touch, or is it just kind of
absolutely?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
we kind of lost touch, but like
you'd pick right back up.
Oh,
exactly.
He came back a couple months ago, and it was like he never left.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's really cool. I love those friends. Like being able to maintain those relationships. But you said like he had a big effect on you and his creativity.
Oh, huge.
Him putting it forward. Like,
to put it into perspective, I don't have a memory of him not being my friend. So like it's been like
forever,
literal whole life.
Yeah.
So like yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but watching him and you like get into that, and you guys having that similar interest is so cool. How you connect with people through similar interests. Like I'll like I said, I get long winded, but my buddy Tyler, like he was really into sports, and like we'd watch like the Patriots or whatever, or the Celtics, and like I liked all that stuff, but he's the one that really got me into sports, you know, and because my dad wasn't really, he was like more of a musician.
Yeah.
I didn't really play any instruments at the time I met Ty when I was like 7, 8 years old. And it really pushed that narrative for me and really shaped my life around sports and that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's amazing how the people you meet have such a big influence in your life,
absolutely.
You know, and Ty's like my best friend. I love him. You know what I mean? He's like a brother to me. So, and you never,
it's the most important connection you can make is finding somebody who, I guess, who helps mold you.
Yeah, in a way, because and hopefully you can help mold them. But I would say there was a lot of,
just give and take with it always. It's like,
well, it's weird. I feel like Ty really helped me, even socially. You know what I mean? He was more popular than me, but he really helped like mold a lot of that, like getting me actually interested in sports and different things and competition and just being like a little bit more popular and having more friends. And now I have like this big group of friends. And I feel like on the back end, now that we're older, I've been able to be of service to Ty in other ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but like it took a long time for me to be able to give back what he gave to me, you know? Yeah, and I really hope he listens to this. I've never really been able to tell him that, you know?
I'm willing to bet I'm willing to bet that he doesn't know that he played that role for you. And you don't know what kind of role you played for him.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like the same thing. Is like you could be completely oblivious to the fact that you created his favorite sandwich or something you know.
Me and Ty, we have had really deep discussions though, like, because we've had like long nights drinking or whatever. Like we've had moments where we've like cried on each other's shoulder. Sure, we've had fist fights with each other.
Yeah, that's kind of what friends do.
So we have a very like interesting brotherhood. Yeah, he Ty's awesome though. He'd be a very interesting person to have on the podcast. He's got a very just a very interesting perspective on life.
I'll tell you, somebody we do a lot for that does shit for us is maybe the other guy that's not here.
If you were a loved one, have ever been ghosted by Kyle?
Yeah, we should run that back. Right? Yeah. All right, give it to us.
If you were a loved one, have ever been ghosted by Kyle Appleton, call 1-800-KYLE-SUCKS. That's 1-800-KYLE-SUCKS.
SU
with X. With an X. Oh, you know what I really wanted to bring up? Last night, and I was telling you this at the diner, we literally just wanted to go out for a few beers. We go to the Shire Brew House. It's 11 o'clock. It's closed. Okay, we'll stop by.
Nobody's there.
Dewey's.
Nobody's there.
Oh, okay, we'll go to Red's. Ghost Town.
Nothing there.
So, but it was cool that we went back to the apartment anyway.
Yeah.
But,
No, but isn't it tough though? Like if you guys are from the Berkshires, any of our listeners, like it's you wish there was
just small towns in general.
Yeah, you just wish something was going on. Yeah. But at the same time, I get it. People got to pay the bills. They got to pay their electric.
And most, 99% of our population is in bed by 8:30 anyway.
Sure.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Night,
easy.
night?
Oh, easy.
Really?
Call it night. We'll call
You
it
just call it
9 p.m.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, that's
You
bad.
think that many? I would say like 70. Dude, I still like.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm in
like
bed.
midnight.
I'm in bed at like 9. Yeah,
I lay down sometimes at 10, but I'm up until midnight. You know what I mean? I can't go to sleep. I think my sister's like
I'm like an old lady now. Like,
Screwed up.
just, oh, 9 o'clock. It's bedtime.
I'd like to go to bed earlier just because I get up so fucking early, but
I have a question for you guys, and I mentioned this last night, Rudy. Do you think in an alternate reality, okay, where technology and iPhones and social media doesn't exist, those bars are actually closed last night?
Ooh, that's interesting. That's a super interesting question.
It is pretty good. Thank you.
I don't think they would have been closed.
yeah.
No, I don't think. I don't.
I'm with
I'm
you.
glad you said that, Dave. I don't. Without a shadow of a doubt, I would hedge my life against it.
Yeah, because that's like
That's like how else are you going to get like
People would
some
communicate.
social interaction?
That's true,
Rather
that's
than
true.
scrolling, you
Yeah.
can go to the bar.
yeah,
Or you're gonna go,
interesting.
It provides so much stimulus, and like you're doing this. You think that you're in other places. These people are so fed up about like how many likes they're getting or whatever, and we all fall into the trap. I mean, I'm on the Instagram all the time for this account, but the people would call each other. You say, "Oh, well, Jim and Kate and those guys are going over to Reds tonight, so like let's head out there." And then they tell their friends, and then those friends of friends tell their friends, and the next thing you know, you got a full house, and it just there's not that community anymore, and people don't really know their neighbors.
Right.
And a huge part of that is the advent, and I keep saying that because I think it sounds smart, of social media.
Yeah, it's a false false sense of community
Shizzle.
that you get on social media apps, right?
And that's just another thing that was meant to have good intentions. That, well, I wouldn't really say good intentions.
Maybe
Kind of meant to, maybe it meant to, and then I just say when they seen the money into it and the monetization of people's information and stuff,
that's capitalism for you. Then,
Yeah,
like, the money is always the bottom line. Period. There's no way around that.
It really is, but it really has changed things because it does do a lot of amazing things.
That's not going to work, huh?
Huh? No, it'll be all right. We'll just acknowledge the fact that somebody is doing their typical Sunday cleaning.
True. True.
Do they know what we're doing down here? Because it's almost like
I did not tell them about today.
Yeah, and okay, because it almost feels purposeful at this point, but it's fine.
It is.
We'll get past it.
Yeah.
It's like they probably have like peeked in the windows or whatever and seen that like there's a setup in here.
Yeah, they definitely
Precise, but what it is what it is. I just a vacuum.
They know that we did, or I said that we were recording a podcast.
Yeah,
like before.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah,
we'll make it work. Yeah. If anything, please enjoy the sounds of a vacuum cleaner. It's beautiful.
Nice.
That's great. Yeah.
Nice.
So this actually is really
real life.
I got it. This is another cool thing to bring up, and actually we'll bring up the specific situation about last night because I don't want to like bring specific people into things, but this right here, like just letting things go, like it's stuff like this where like I automatically jump to a false reality of like them actually thinking about this in their head instead of just being, I need to vacuum, the house is a mess. Like them actually, they have so much going on in their life. Like this being in their basement and our reality of recording a podcast is such a small part of their life.
That's true.
That like they're probably not thinking about it.
Oh no.
I automatically am like, how like if you know that or you think that we're here and like the person's actually your landlord, you know what I mean? Like you would be like, oh, do I maybe not want to disrupt what they're doing down there?
Yeah,
but like,
idea.
I get to that defensive mode. I don't like that. I do that.
It's easier to go down that path.
It is.
It's also called anxiety.
I have massive anxiety.
I'm pretty sure every human being has in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
If you don't, there might actually be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anxiety's real. I never get that defensive. Like I don't assume people know shit,
That's ridiculously healthy of you.
Yeah.
That's a great quality. Just like your honor and confidence.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I just have it, and I know people. I have a trust that people that I interact with or folks that is there a rat in the cover or something?
Oh, that would be funny. No, they're just walking around. I was figuring there was a ghost back there or something.
No.
If you guys see anything, comment 1-800-Kyle sucks.
Yes. No. Well, I was going to say is like I believe in greater good, and people have things to do, and they have tasks to complete, and there's rarely a time where I think people are actually going to do that extra effort to fuck with somebody else's day. Like it's just more energy spent on there.
Yeah, like you have to really be like a diabolical.
Yeah. Think about how many times you specifically have gone out of your way to fuck with someone, right? It's like
it's definitely happened, but it's not like you do it all the time. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, it's not like a regular thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I rarely and I like seeing petty stories sometimes, but I'm not petty.
Yeah.
Like I refuse to spend energy on it.
When it's like when we talk shit about Kyle, like there is something, and I said this in an episode, and I want to clean it up a little bit if anybody even remembers it, but I hate gossip. Like sometimes, but it is fun talking shit. Like Joe Rogan says, and it's fun talking shit, but I don't like the gossip. And I like that if I am gossiping, it's something that I actively would say or it already have said to people like in my life, right?
Yeah.
But like I do get like that, like a little like almost like a knot in my stomach, like when people are gossiping. I was at a golf course the other day, and like the guys at the golf course were like gossiping about other people, and I'm like, you guys are like older, like you're out and you're drinking on like a it's like it was just like
club talk.
Yeah, I'm like, this is just like, I'm like, this is ridiculous, And they brought up like people that I knew and stuff, and I'm like, and they didn't know. I'm not familiar there. I was there on my laptop waiting for people to finish, and I'm like, this is like, it actually threw me off a little bit, and then I used it as an excuse that I played bad. But yeah.
Hey, Blockheads, it's Dave. Sorry to interrupt your podcast listening, but I just needed to let you know about today's sponsors. First, a big shout out to the Tack Room Restaurant in Lincoln, Massachusetts. Tack Room offers an inviting atmosphere for everyone, families, friends, date nights, and lunch meetings. Whatever the occasion, the Tack Room has something comforting for you. Check out Chef Dan Lane's creations at the Tack Room in Lincoln, Massachusetts. Next up, another big thank you to Ghillie Puck. Ghillie Puck is the all-in-one hunting device for people like me who can't seem to hide from anything. Veteran-owned and operated, Ghillie Puck offers the perfect coverage to keep you hidden from your prey. Check out more at ghilliepuck.com. Hunting just got tactical. And finally, to our newest sponsor, Jiu-Jitsu Gel. It's a specifically formulated supplement designed for martial artists. They offer 3 stages of supplements for before, during, and after. And to top it all off, a portion of their proceeds goes to nonprofits in the jiu-jitsu community to promote inclusivity, education, and development. Check out more information at jujitsugel.com. All right, now back to the show.
So I want to dive back into this. So obviously Tom.
Yeah, Tom. Yeah.
He really kind of, you guys woke that or awakened that.
Yeah,
interest in each other.
I would say it. We kind of came to that conclusion together, but the reality is he probably did 90% of the work.
Yeah, you were just kind of like there,
and I was just kind of there for the ride, enjoying it.
It's cool when you can reflect on that and be honest with yourself.
Yeah,
like somebody else I know that thinks he does a lot. And
speaking of shit talk, hey, well, no names. We don't need to say
that number is 1-800-Kyle sucks.
Okay, Dave. Well, that's so awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So at what point did you mentioned some of those competitions and you guys, winning what was it, the states?
No, I wish. No, it was just county.
Oh, county.
Yeah.
And then, so when did you get into the bot wars or the robot wars?
That was actually more
Battle
recently.
bots.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was, within the last 2 years. And that kind of came from, I shouldn't say I'm still very much so into FPV drones.
What's that?
the first person view. They're drones that you fly with goggles on, so you're watching out the front.
That's
and,
cool.
Yeah, you're racing, you're flipping around, you're doing all that. And at the beginning, you crash a lot. It's inevitable.
hard for that type of view, I bet.
Yeah. It's hard to get used to because the drone doesn't self-correct.
Yeah.
So like if you turn the sticks to go to roll to the left, you're staying rolled to the left until you correct otherwise.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do. So I was breaking drones left and right and having to fix them. And I found out I really enjoyed fixing them, figuring out what the problem was and going on from there. Well, as I practiced and flew more, I started crashing less and less. And I realized, I really missed fixing drones. But I also didn't have the money to keep building them.
Yeah, it's got to be expensive.
It's expensive hobby.
It gets kind of wild. And that's when I found out that they do small scale battle bots, little 3-pounders. So I started with that, thinking to myself, "Oh, this is great. The whole purpose is to break it and fix it again."
It's very interesting. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love drones too, and anybody that has seen my page, they'll see some aerials. I just like what they're capable of, and they're fairly cheap. Like right now, you can get a DJI Mini for I don't know, $300, and it's got a 4K camera on it. It's got 180p, 13 megapixels, and they're fucking sick. And they're fun. They're just fun, Fun
you're flying.
Yeah,
that's that. That's why I like the FPV so much. It's you are literally flying.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And you get that adrenaline rush when you huck a $600 toy at a tree because you're like, I can make through that gap.
Yeah. And sometimes you do and you don't.
Yeah, no, most of the time you can't make it through that gap, but you're going to try anyway.
Yeah. No, that's sweet, man.
The only time I've ever driven a drone, if that's how you say it, is when you let me do it at your dad's house, or I should say your parents' house. It's very interesting, but going back to interest and stuff, I think it's cool and it's fascinating, but I don't see myself going out of my way to buy one. It's almost like tattoos. I think that's really cool, but I would never get one. I just I wouldn't spend money to sit there and then have something put up. You know what I mean? It's just but I bet I can appreciate it.
Right.
Yeah, teach their own. Teach their own.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that I don't know if this was in the first recording. By the way, this is the second recording, as we always fucking do.
Yeah,
which is great.
Which is part of the course.
It's part of the course. That's what you do.
Well, that's why Dave is so good, because he's good at fixing problems. He's our engineer, because we're always problems. Oh, they're
I'm gonna have to. Jeff Bezos, if you're listening, the gaff tape that you sell on your damn website is awful.
Awful.
Yeah,
it's Jeff.
It melts. It sticks to things.
Yeah. There's marks.
Now our towel over the window is falling.
All right. So I want to relate this to the blocks, because
let's pull it all together.
I'm partial to the blocks, and I do want to sort of tie it to that. So what would you say, Dave?
Trying to fall asleep.
Yeah. Right. Same.
It's not obvious.
Same. Yeah.
That's why
because you hear some fucking raspy voice.
Apply for cigars and stuff.
Yeah. Kyle shoving cigars down his throats. Anyways,
that sounded very.
That sounded way.
We're having a kind of like a Clinton White House moment going on with what's her name?
Monica.
No,
so Dave, I was going to ask, what, when you're on your next, whatever you want to do you have anything on the horizon? Do you have anything that you want to pursue next? Is it is it battle bots? Is that
that is my current rabbit hole, as I like to refer to them as. So I'll dig deep through that for a while until.
Do you have a goal? Would you like to win?
Win a championship? Is it just to compete?
I'd like to win some money.
Yeah.
I would really like some of that money back.
Because it's expensive, right?
I believe it. What do they? When is the?
We gotta be honest with you. I'm not entirely sure. And there are every other month, and they just did one recently. And then there are smaller ones, which I like to go to more all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Northeast is like the hub.
Yeah.
It seems there are two. There's the
Is it because of
Northeast.
MIT and stuff?
Oh yeah, yes. No, actually, WPI.
Oh, okay.
They're the big ones, but yeah. And then there's California's got a pretty hefty scene as well. And some may argue that it's better, but
Do you really got to go out that way to get like a substantial payout?
not really. No.
those are
There's
out
one.
here.
There's one NHRL. I don't know what they call themselves now, but it's down in Norwalk, Connecticut. They'd pay out great.
So what would happen if you came in like third place at that?
I don't know what they paid for third place, to be honest with you. I don't think
How much for first place?
first place for one of their normal events is like $1,000.
Yeah.
Which $1,000 is $1,000,
yeah,
man. You know,
stuff, yeah.
But they do. I wish I could remember what they pay, but they pay out hefty.
All right.
Yeah, somebody must
For
be
like the winner win.
25K.
Yeah. So somewhere in that range,
Yeah,
probably.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
All right. So what block would you need? What is it? Work ethic? Is it going to be truthfully saying, my robots suck?
Yes and yes.
Yes.
I will admit that currently my robot sucks.
Okay.
I only know about 6% of what I'm doing, and that's if I'm.
It's a good gauge. I think that's a good.
Hey, that's realistic.
reality. I think that's a good way to check yourself. Like, giving a percentage of what you know and starting new things. Right, like this is a common saying, but like it sucks to suck, but you're going to suck at something when you start. But then if you do it 10,000, like the 10,000 time routine or whatever, you're going to get better at something. And that's the graph. So the more you do that, the better you'll get and have a chance to win. And but I do like how you related it back, Rudy, because that is kind of what we're trying to do here, right? With Blockhead Nation is like, we just dove into this. It's going to be clunky. You might know 3%.
Trial and error.
Yeah.
You might know 6%. You might know 80%, but you should just, regardless of what you got going on, the kids, the job, whatever excuses you have, there is a lot of time in a day in going after those things that you want to do. And sometimes you'll find out like there's certain things you think that you want to do and you're not really into them. I bought some Zins, and I'm like, I'm gonna try to force myself into a bad habit. And then I was like, I kind of like, it's okay. It gives me like a little bit of a pep, but it's not worth it. So I'm not going to continue to buy them. Like that's an awful analogy, but just in general, you need to try things and wean out the things that don't work. But
That's fair.
Yeah.
the worst regret is the regret of not doing something right than failing. It's much worse than failing at something and actually knowing that you tried. Even though that sucks ass too, because I hate failing and I hate
not putting in the effort kind of.
It sucks.
Well, it leaves you feeling like you missed something. Like if I'm going to go do something and I fall flat on my face and I go, I don't think this is for me. At least I tried.
Exactly.
You know.
There was a quote recently that I saw, and I'm going to butcher it, but it was like far more people, fail by being sedentary than fail by actually. I fucking forget it, but god damn it, it was you know what I'm saying? I mean, like you don't do anything.
Yeah,
it's definitely not going to get done. If you do it, you fail. At least
you learn something.
At least you try.
Yeah,
I know it's cliche and it's probably overstated, but it's so fucking true. Just get up and do something. And like Donnie said, if it's not for you, then on to the next thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, they are fucking.
It's okay. So it's fine. Listen, they're just like Kyle and I used to as kids. They are recreating last night's episode of WWE
or Celebrity Deathmatch. Remember that?
Oh, Celebrity Deathmatch! What a classic!
That's a classic.
What a great show!
Yeah.
Oh man,
I pulled that one out of my freaking butt kiss. So I really want to keep extracting more. As I become better friends with you, Dave, I want to learn more about you. Even just hanging out at the diner this morning was awesome. What you mentioned music earlier. What kind of music are you into? What's your? Is it everything?
More or less.
Yeah.
I've pretty much had a phase of everything for the most part. There are some things that I still just don't.
What's the music you don't like? You just never really appeal to you. If you had to say,
a lot of like the stereotypical pop music.
Yep.
It's just kind of boring to me. Newer country. Like I'll admit I loves me some Johnny Cash and
George Strait.
Yeah. You know, Willie Nelson even. You know,
Elvis is kind of like a rock country. Yeah.
But anything much newer than that, just never really tickled my fancy. But other than that, like there is not much that I don't listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah. What station would be on in your car right now?
If I'm putting money on it, it's probably NPR.
Nice.
Yeah, so that goes back to like liking getting the podcast. And we obviously all like podcasts, but one of my motivations for, starting to start this or whatever, or wanting to start a podcast was podcast made a huge difference in my life because I'm not really one to read much and I'm always on the road. I'm always doing something. So even my comprehension skills at first when I was listening to podcasts wasn't the same as it is now. And I can listen to something. I could even speed it up. I think if I needed to, I don't prefer it. But what you said you got on the podcast early, like what podcasts were those and how do you think those shaped your interest in your stuff, moving forward from that point?
The first one, it was a radio show that they also made into a podcast. It was Radio Lab.
Yep.
That was really what kind of hurled me into that whole world.
Yeah.
Their storytelling abilities, the production was a huge part. Is how they were able to use little sounds and little pieces of music to really create this gorgeous story every single time. And it could be about anything. Yeah. It could have been about, this specific type of bug that mates only so many times every so many years, and it'd be the most interesting story in the world. Because they put this beautiful music behind it, and they draw out some suspense. Their storytelling, and that was it. That was the drug.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool, that perspective. That Dave has on it, because it takes somebody that's really into something to really notice that, like, for what it is, and actually see the amount of work that goes into it. 'Cause a lot of times we take it for granted. We might just like listening to it, but we don't know. And you've taken your tech savviness and interest in tech to sort of dig into what's behind it, right?
That's a big. A lot of people call it a problem that I have. Is like my biggest fear is not knowing anything.
Or how they do it.
Right. Yeah. So I always have to figure it out. So if I ever have a question to myself of like, oh, I wonder how that's made, or I wonder how they do that, I have to know. Or it will eat me alive.
Hey, that's a good problem to have.
It's a curse and a blessing, right? Because I think that is very interesting. Actually, I like that because I guarantee you that other people who are engineering types and have that like interest in to take things apart, put it back together.
Yeah,
they feel like I can enjoy sometimes the beauty of music, and I really try to take a step back and enjoy things, but I can just enjoy music at its face value without understanding what goes behind it. But people who are really creative or in the music or have that engineering mindset, they have to be like, oh, well, like, how did they do that? Oh, how did he do that with the drums? Like, whatever. Because the more you know about something, or the more you're curious about things, you can't even enjoy it as much because you want to figure out how they did it, opposed to just enjoying the art at its face value. I'm
definitely guilty of that.
Yeah,
of like I have to know. I have to.
I wish I was a little bit more like that in some instances, because being a songwriter and trying to create music and not having the knowledge of that back end stuff, obviously I've trial and errored like how to create beats and tempos and just understanding what chords fit where, but trying to learn right off the bat, like listening to a song and going into that song and seeing where the chords are, seeing what instruments they are, seeing the timing on it, like that would have helped me way early on, rather than spending hours and hours trying to learn or figure out trial and error myself through a song. So
The trial and error works.
It does, but it is inefficient. Was my point.
Yeah, but you inevitably come to the same point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I find myself doing it that way too. Like, I taught myself CAD. I have no idea how to do CAD. I just know that if I click these specific buttons that I happen to find out worked, I can get a design that I want.
Nice.
No, but yeah, like that's actually something that it's so funny how different I am in that regard, Dave, because I don't like reading instructions. I don't like reverse engineering things. Even like doing some of the creative stuff or like the podcast stuff. Like, I want to look up how to do certain templates or video creation or buying certain things, and I'll look into it. Even like planning a trip. Like my buddy James, we might do a big hiking trip. He'll plan everything, the places, the stops, the mileage, like, and he says he loves it. But for me, I've gotten better with it, and I need to plan more, and the further my career goes and different things, and I've gotten a lot more meticulous when it comes to that. But I really wish it's more of a muscle for me that I have to like really work at, because I don't have that natural interest to dig back and really, and it make things easier on me, because I have to do more trial and error, or like up until recently, I'll just be like, fuck it, I'm not that good at it. And my only interests before were basketball, drinking, and that's pretty much it. In golf sometimes. And so I'm like, how shallow is that though? Because I'm like, I didn't want to do anything else, because those are the things where I was good at and I was used to. And now I'm really, the part of this podcast is to like say fuck it, suck at stuff, reverse engineer stuff. And it's really cool that, you know, looking at how people have been successful and how they've learned things through that process. And not everyone is going to love doing it, but I think that's the only way you can learn. And it's a way you can learn faster. And just like running, you're only going to get better at it. Through time, you know. So,
and it goes to another, you know, one of the things that we always hit on is like just putting yourself in that discomfort, because you know, trial and error, it's frustrating sometimes.
It's true.
You're not always finding the answers you want, and it might not, the end result might not be the outcome you want, but just going through that difficult period and that spending that time, there is benefit to it, right? It makes you better.
It's a 10,000 hour thing. If you spend 10,000 hours doing almost anything, you will be like a master at it. You will be in the top percentile, you know, 1%, 2%, 5% or whatever, depending on, you know, how much innate talent you have towards that specific goal. You're going to be in the top percent of it. You know what I mean? Like, I know there's certain things, like I've listened to so many podcasts. I've played a certain amount of basketball. Like, I just know from the amount of time that I put into it that I am better at it, really, I guess, for lack of better terms, than people who just are just going to show up and do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, and it's nice having that confidence, especially when it comes to running a business or having a career. And that's why people search Google and see the reviews and 20 years in business. Like, it's hard to run a small business. They're doing something right because they've been able to be consistent for that long.
Yep.
So we're probably about an hour and a half in, right?
Yeah.
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
I would assume that. I would assume that.
I don't think it's that long.
Not
since we said second
Hour
quarter.
and 3 minutes.
What?
Hour and 3 minutes.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I thought it was longer for some reason.
Yeah.
All right. But what I wanted to know, Dave, is, and we can put this at the end if it's not the end, but what has this podcast experience done for you, if anything? Has it hindered your life? Are we a pain in the ass? Or is it something you look forward to on occasion?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It's flexing muscles that I haven't had to flex in a while.
There you go.
Like brain muscles, things that I remember learning, but may not remember in the moment or at all until it's way too late.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
We've done that, but like I said, we're figuring it out together.
Yeah.
right. We you know, we're throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks. And then that is an absolute blast.
Love it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Well,
we love having.
yeah.
We love having you, dude, and it's awesome. Just I think getting to know you, you know, a little bit better. I think getting everyone to know you a little bit better, having you on the mic because you're so talented on the mic, and
It's a little weird. I'll be honest with you, being on this side.
Yeah.
But it won't be the last time.
Definitely
Because we're going to
Absolutely
seek
not.
that discomfort.
Yes,
Sit
that's
your
right.
ass in that seat.
Yes.
Kyle's gone.
Yeah, well, I mean, these people are literally moving furniture.
Don't give it a Kyle.
Don't be a Kyle.
Do the what else?
That is 1-800-KYLE-SUCKS. 1-800-KYLE-SUCKS.
The voice is so spot on. There's one other thing I want to know, and we can dash it up or get rid of it, Dave. But like, you said you went to school. You ended a little bit early or whatever. But what did you go to school for? Why did you do that? And then like, what was you said you did some actual radio stuff like with the sports teams or something like that? Just a little bit about
college.
your college experience and your history with actual radio. I think would be a great place to end or throw in there. Just to kind of give people the full circle on your stuff, right?
It was pretty weak, all things considered. I had a radio show through the college radio station.
What was it called?
I don't remember.
Not important. So, but if you
I can tell you that it was WWLR 91.5 up in Lyndonville, Vermont.
Nice.
I would give you the phone number still, but I don't think that radio station exists anymore because it's been 15 years since I've been there.
if we're going to try to dig up some of the stuff in the archives, me and Dave talked about it.
It's something I've been trying to find.
That'd be really cool to share
digging
that.
through old computers to try and find some of the stuff.
Yeah.
I did some really small time commentary on hockey teams. So that was kind of fun. That's always really difficult.
Hockey's the toughest sport.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You gotta track the puck, man.
Yep,
And
that's it. That's all you. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
And then if you see some people fighting, you talk about that.
That's good stuff too.
Yeah. But other than the radio show and I'm not even entirely sure what that noise was. But,
Yeah, I'm scooting shit around.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually insane.
Yeah.
That's all right.
And then that was the radio show, and then that was specifically what you went to school for, is like talk radio, basically. Or?
Kind of, yeah. It was the whole production side of it. I switched majors because I was doing journalism and TV production.
Yeah.
And then I switched into radio junior year. I made it through a year of that.
Yeah.
And, I had a radio show and did all that, and then inevitably had to leave school. And that's a train wreck of a story. I mean, we don't need to get into that one, but inevitably left school, and I tried my hand at a few things here or there. I did some freelance journalism for a while.
Awesome.
It's not as exciting as it sounds. I literally was taking stories that people had already written and condensing it down into 20-second blurbs to be spewed out on radio stations across the country. And then it kind of died off from there for a while. I worked in a few restaurants after that. Mm-hmm. Didn't really do anything involving radio or anything like that until I had my most recent job, where they all of a sudden started asking me to do social media stuff, and I had to start trying to flex this muscle in my brain again.
Yeah.
And then obviously here I am.
Yeah.
Well, it's really cool how things come full circle, and I could just tell when you got involved that you were excited about it and didn't expect anything out of us for it. And it's just such a great fit that obviously you have the, connection you do with Kyle, and that you're able to come on. And we just want to say, in person on the live camera, how much we appreciate you. Get yourself a Dave, but Dave is a force to be reckoned with. He obviously does so much in the back end. You've heard today that he will reverse engineer it. The things that he can't figure out, he does figure out. He has that proclivity to do these things
I got that
better than we do, and we appreciate you so much, Dave. We really love everything you do for us, that you don't put any undue pressure on us, and we're all in this
thanks
together.
for putting up for it with us. I mean,
it's mostly easy to do.
yeah.
There are some times when I look at my phone and see the 78 text messages that have come through in the group chat and go, oh, these fucking guys.
Well, it's us. It's me and me. We're all arguing in the group chat.
I would expect nothing less of a reaction.
Yeah.
I fucking do that too.
Dude, so sometimes when we are arguing in a group chat, guys, literally like there'll be a million text messages back and forth. Dave will actually take the time to read most of them and be like, and he'll send a paragraph of like wise, like
A short essay.
Yeah.
like why just a condensed version, almost like you did for the journalism, like condensed notes of like basically guys like, you need to figure this out, and here are some ways in which you can do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like words of wisdom, and then we all kind of like
it's so great that Dave does that, unlike somebody else that doesn't read the freaking text.
That's 1-800 Kyle sucks.
Yes. 1-800 Kyle sucks. www.kylesucks.com.
So this is the Dave intro episode and the Kyle sucks episode.
That's going to be episode, what?
Seven.
Episode 7.
Lucky number
Kyle
7.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Lucky number 7.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, I think
stuff.
it was a good episode, man. I think it was solid. Yeah.
Yeah. We got some good stuff in there.
You know.
We talk about cheating.
Yep. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
We talk about what you got going on, Dave. I wanted to just ask too, last thing. Is there anything you're particularly grateful for that you wanted,
Jeez. Springing that on me.
I know.
I'll be honest, I always thought that was a great way to end these shows. Anything I'm particularly grateful for? 100% my entire family.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Always trying to point me in the right direction despite my stubbornness to accept help. And given things that are happening, super, super grateful.
Amen.
Awesome.
Amen.
Amen to that.
We're grateful for you, Dave.
Yes.
All right.
We are.
All right. All right. So you want to wrap it up here, Don? And
Yeah, well, I just we're grateful for Dave, guys. This is episode 7. Meet Dave.
And Kyle sucks.
And Kyle sucks episode. And yeah, just thank you guys so much for going along on the journey. I feel like people have really been reaching out to us. We've gotten some really positive feedback from people. I talked to somebody from Canada the other day, so it's really cool that this community is starting to build, and let's keep building, baby.
Block
by
block. We do actually love you, Kyle.
Yeah, we do, Kyle. I don't know. Like, even though I'm